How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to Killmark Collectors. I'm Brandon, and don't worry, your speakers aren't broken. I am sick as a dog right now, and I have been for the last few days, almost a week now. They've told me it's not COVID, but who knows. Today I want to talk very briefly about integrated rigs, where you get them, how you can use them, and some of the fun things that you can do with them. Integrated rigs were one of the new features that were added as part of the anniversary update, and they come with some really interesting capabilities and options. In order to get them, the short version is that you can either obviously buy them off of the market directly, or you can get the blueprints from the relic sites and the components that you need from the data sites. Now you can also buy the components if you go into reprocessing materials. Anything that's blue down here is basically an integrated rig material. As for the rigs themselves, they do come in a variety of options. Basically, you can either combine 2 rigs, you can combine 3 rigs, or you can combine 4 rigs. The caveat is that you can only combine rigs of a different type. So you can't, for example, stack 3 cannon burst aerators on top of one another in a 3 rig integrated rig. So when we go in here to the rigs themselves, they do have 4 key lines or rows. The first being the integration efficiency. That is going to be the percent of the previous stat that is transferred into the new integrated rig. If you have something that's, for example, a 10% reduction in activation time and you're using an 80% rig, you will get an 8% drop. Pretty self-explanatory. It says integrated, that's how many rigs you can bring in. It's a enhanced 2P, therefore we have 2 rigs. And finally, the multiplier of rigs needed. This is basically the way of the game making sure that you're not just taking a single rig and dumping it in. You actually have to have 6 rigs of the same type in order to use it in this particular integrated rig. With some of the other ones, they have less. Some of them have more. I think the 4P, you have to use 4 rigs, but for the universal 3P, it's 6 rigs, so on and so forth. Finally, the most interesting thing here, and the thing I'm happiest about, is that you have the integrated rigs are not covered by insurance. Now, the rig itself to integrate is covered, so you can get that back, but what you won't get is all of the rigs that were underneath or integrated into that rig. I think this is great personally, because it means that not only are the price of rigs going to go up because people are going to need a lot of them to put them into these rigs, but then when they lose ships, they will not be able to get all of those rigs back, meaning that they will have to go and buy more rigs. I'm all for that. I think they almost kind of started to fix insurance without fixing insurance. Who knew? As of right now, these rigs, again, are pretty expensive. I think for the most expensive one is going to be this enhanced 2P combat rig. That is over $1 billion ISK right now, but some of them are a little bit more reasonable. That being said, it's all going to be a matter of risk and reward. You are going to have to decide how much you want to sink into this, because remember, it's not just the cost of this rig, it's also the cost of all the ones that go into it. So if we're having to put 6 rigs into one of these, and we want to put, let's say, a burst aerator or something like that, that's 84 million. If we have to have 6 of those in order to put that in here, doing my math really quickly, that's probably going to end up being wrong. I think that that's around 480, almost 500 million just in rigs that you're going to need to put into that. I think that for a lot of people, it's not going to be worth it to put these rigs on right now, but again, we'll see, and people are going to love to min-max these. Now, in terms of who's going to use these rigs, to be honest, right off the bat, I don't think that most people are going to want to. There is a slight damage increase or resistance increase or whatever, but it's pretty minute for the amount that you're going to have to spend to get these. So is it worth that extra damage increase? Maybe. That's up to you. That's your decision. I do think that Guardians are actually going to see a really big benefit out of this, and that is because when you look at the way that the Guardians, specifically the Shield Guardians, apply their bubble and their resistances, even if you were to take the tier 2 resistance rigs, integrate those in, and then also be able to put, for example, like the capacitor decrease for a shield boost, or the shield boost amount, or the total shield, increase, any of those also put into this, you end up with the capability to have, 6, 8 different rigs all working together. And again, in the instance of using it for a Guardian, I think it's got some really cool potential. Faction battleship pilots are going to be the other ones that are probably going to be flying these a good bit. I don't think that it makes sense to put them on anything less than a battleship at this point, because even a battle cruiser or a cruiser is just not really tanky enough to really warrant the risk in my opinion. Again, I could be completely wrong, but I just think that a lot of people are going to want to fly these primarily in PvE until, again, the price comes down. But what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below. Let me know how you are planning to use these, if you're planning to use these, and what some of the cool use cases are that you may be able to throw onto some of your ships. So with that being said, I hope you guys have a great day. I'm going to go and keep drinking some hot tea and whatever this is, but it's delicious and it's helping my throat. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Cheers.